be fun. We're gonna have a good time. I'm gonna split your guts open. Have a gay old time, I guess. Dead. That's annoying.
Oh, agony and torment. Here is another. Enemy. This way, right there.
So the guy or guys that killed me on the left-hand side either did not spawned a little bit earlier and then like came up and walked away, or didn't spawn at all? Question mark. It's possible. Game doesn't want you to camp, obviously. We got a lot of guys to kill. No shit to do. We won't die again. I said it as I die. Try to kill these guys, I guess, as best as I can, because we want to keep a move on. Gotta keep moving forward, keep getting stuff done. Give ourselves a nice pat on the back, which you can thank the adding S's thing to Metalocalypse. What's the weird one? I think he plays like either. No, he doesn't play bass. I can't remember his name. He's kind of like a little bit of a childish character in comparison to the other ones. They're sort of like hardcore. Or just a big fucking doofus. Like Murderface. But like, he adds S's, unnecessary S's everywhere. I don't know, guys, we should not do this. It's no good.
Get up. Why
I
don't you
either
get up?
didn't kill the original elite that was on the right side there, or there's a second elite that I need to be aware of. Or not. I guess he could not be there. You know, maybe he respawned somewhere else where he should be, instead of right here where I didn't want him to be. Or maybe I just didn't kill the first one. Who knows? Who knows? Can't say. Actually, I could say if I did just a little bit of rewinding, I'm sure. Yeah. They can hide anywhere in any of these recesses. That's why I keep checking them. They do. Usually only when they're sleeping. I think like an elite, like if he's like really pissed off, like, okay, so I know most of the characters in like a lot of sci-fi type stuff are based off of other characters or other stereotypes. Like you might say, well, you know, sci-fi is just an extension of you know, fantasy, but it's in the future instead of like a medieval past. So you know, you have like your elves and your dwarves and your human, obviously, but you get like maybe other races as well, like you know, I guess dark elves or um goblins, which I'm having a little bit of trouble thinking of the combination. Well, anyways, you have, in this case, you have what can only be considered as the elites, are like the orcs. Um, so I guess they could also be like dark elves, you know, space dark elves, due to their, somewhat due to their combat prowess and their need for, sort of like, I don't know, what do you want to call it, a uniform society, class society. And then grunts are more like goblins, you know, where there's tons of them. Sometimes the orcs pick up the goblins and eat them, or throw them across the room, or something ridiculous like that. But then, like, I guess that would make brutes like trolls or something, which would kind of work as well because they're kind of just big fucking brutes. But depending on what you consider an orc, they may be similar to, if not the same as, a troll in some cases, like trying to think. Those orcs aren't exactly the smartest of creatures, but goblins are definitely, or giants are definitely dumb. Golems, whatever you want to call them, they're not really golems. Um, Need to go in there and trigger the next cutscene.
Deal with him, my brothers. I will defend the Oracle. Its truth must not be silenced.
Hurry up, go fight him so that I can run away like a baby. And then I die. Okay, I mean, who cares if I die or not? Who cares? Ooh, blew that up. So, in the last time I came through here, the elite and grunt both died, mainly because I believe either the elite got hit with a plasma grenade or he got knifed or something. Now this time, despite the fact that I didn't necessarily see any grenades on the ground, he still got blown up, which means I gotta do this section without him, which seems like it's scripted practically. It's howdy doody time, howdy doody time. There's a thought while we continue to mow these guys down. In American television, maybe not necessarily so much in other parts of the world, when you have a television show that's successful, you make it go on forever until it runs out of ratings, time, whatever you want to call it. Example would be obviously stuff like, I guess The Simpsons would be an example where that show's been going on for, let me think here,
The heretics are mobilizing their air forces, officers.
30 years or so, roughly.
I'm sending one of our bandits to support them.
So now we're going to do an air mission with this Banshee. And yeah, this will be kind of fun, kind of not. The mechanics on the ship isn't all that bad. But I don't know. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to hit these guys because you have to lead your shots a little bit. Getting back to what I was saying, in America, television shows tend to go on until people are no longer interested, or the television show just becomes too expensive to continue to produce. Actors, decide they don't want to do the parts anymore. I love this music. So good. We do have shows like, the one my dad always complains about is Cheers. He had Cheers, it was on, it was on air for a long time. I think it was 9 seasons in total. And basically Shelley Long left after season 4 or 5, I think. But they kept the show going for another 4 or 5 seasons. In order so that, whoever owned it, the Burroughs brothers or whatever, could basically never have to work again, And because people watched those later seasons, then yeah, obviously they got renewed for a 6th and 7th, ultimately 9, like I said, 9 seasons of it, but like the show without Shelley Long is different. And some people would argue, well, it's not that bad, that, the episodes without her can be good or are as good, but after a certain point you've written all of the ideas, or you've gotten everything that you sort of wanted to do out, and the show really, if it wanted to be really great, it would need, oops, that was a mistake, would need a solid beginning, a middle, and an end. So, rather than the writers or whoever, producer, go, well, we're leading up to this plot point, but we don't want to do it right now because we think we can get renewed for another season. So let's delay getting that done. Making that plot point more valid, because it defeats the purpose of coming back for another season or two. Because without drama, there's no point. But at a certain point, shit just gets ridiculous. I remember, it was 3rd season Scrubs, okay? First season was pretty good, 2nd season got better because the chemistry between the actors got better. 3rd season was like practically peak in terms of just the perfect set of storylines. And the story revolves around JD realizing that he's in love with Elliot, and he basically wants to be with her. And towards the end of that season, he finally gets what he wants, and then he has this flash in his brain where he goes, now that I have her, I don't want her anymore. Now mind you, the storyline is leading up to the point, essentially the point where eventually they will get together and get married and have a kid, okay? But that's like season 8, okay? In the meantime, they talk about where a show jumps the shark and just just becomes ridiculous or redundant after that point, and that was about it. It was third season was about the point when it started to become redundant. Now, don't get me wrong, I loved fourth season. I thought fourth season was excellent. It was like an excellent continuation of third season. But that plot point with Elliot and the romance, just, you're dragging it out. You're dragging the show out because you got renewed for another 2 seasons or 3 seasons. I mean, ultimately, Scrubs went on, whatever it was, I will just say, I can't remember, we'll just say NBC. I should really look this up. I think NBC had it, and then they had it for 8 seasons, and then, like, the last 2 seasons were just trash because 7 was written during the first, well, one that I recognize as the first writer's strike. So it was only like maybe 10 episodes, and none of the episodes were all that good. They come back in 8th season. 8th season wasn't good at all because all of the actors were essentially being paid a lot of money for each episode. So in order to keep the show running on its, I'm going to just say its current budget, I don't know 100% of the details, but basically keep it running on budget, you would have whole characters just disappear from the show for whole episodes, and it would just be JD or Turk or whoever talking on the phone going, oh hey, I'll see you next week, sorry you had to go to Cancun for an emergency visit. It's just like, come on, your audience isn't that stupid. And then for some reason, I don't know why, I didn't watch it, but ABC picked up Scrubs for another season or 2, and I don't know, nothing about seasons 5 and 6 made me go, oh yeah, I wanna watch that, you know. And then it got kind of preachy towards, what was it, season 6 or so, where they had a guy come back from Iraq who was in a coma, eventually comes out of the coma, and everyone's like, you know, you have people with different opinions, like, well, we shouldn't be there in the first place, or, you know, well, this is what, you know, this is what freedom is, you gotta fight for the freedom, and it's just like, it's ham-fisted, you know, right into the middle of that plot. And I feel like I've complained about this very subject before, maybe on a different playthrough somewhere. This all feels super familiar to me, but I don't know. I think any good, sort of like a book, I think any good television show needs to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I understand there, you know, we're not talking necessarily like a book, we're talking more like along the lines of like a book series, like Game of Thrones or a Harry Potter or something, where, you know, your ability to stick the landing is equally important as your ability to the rest of the storyline, because I don't know, you gotta give the plot, you know, a chance to breathe, a chance to explore the ideas you want to explore, and then at the end of the day, you need to let it go. Like, let the show go.
What is it? That stench.
What's that smell?
I smelled it before.
It's blood.
No, it's not blood. It's you know what. Oh yeah, if you didn't know what this is, here, I'll give you a quick hint. You remember what this would look like from Halo 1? Or do you remember what these were from Halo 1? Yeah, that's what this is. We're running immediately into, yeah, well, I missed that cutscene, but, you know, whatever you want to call it, in-game plot, but essentially we're running into the Flood super early in this game. Is kind of weird. I mean, it makes sense that you've already established human versus Covenant. They're fighting. Now you got Covenant versus Heretic, Fringe of Covenant. Now we're gonna bring in the Flood. So now it's just like, okay, let's open the doors up. and let's just do this. Do the three-prong faction thing immediately in the plot.
Me had bad feeling about this. You always have bad feeling. You had bad
Always have bad feeling.
Close your jaws, or I shall bind them shut.
Shut your whore mouth, said the elite.
See, heretic!
Hold your fire. Hold your fire. I wondered who the prophets would send to silence me. An arbiter. Unflattered.
He's using a holodrome. He must be close. Come out so we may kill you.
Get in line.
Probably one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. Come out so we may kill you. Okay. I'm gonna walk out here. You can just shoot me in my brain. Okay.
Blood is upon us.
So on the one hand, I feel like, you know, obviously he's not, the heretic guy is not controlling the flood here by any stretch of the imagination. He just happens to be luring us into, I guess what you call a bear trap. He knows that the flood are in here, and if the flood can do an equally good job as his units, why not just kill two birds with one stone? Have us clean up some of the flood while the flood eats us. Ay, ay. Whew.
Fools! What have they done?
Let's go.
Go up. I'll follow with our reinforcements.
Well, this is an effective weapon against the flood. You know it's an even better weapon? This one. Oh, I died. That's okay.
Go up.
Get back on the boat this time, except this time I'm gonna use my knife. 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 Yes, sir. We're heading down the this slow, very slow elevator. And yes, it's gonna turn. And yes, these guys are climbing up the walls. And yes, they are jumping down on my platform. And yes, I am doing this. This is like a knife through butter. And this thing just demolishes the shit out of them.
Come on! You're dead.
Look at that shit. I'm not even sure I'm even hitting them, you know, with like the red dot, you know, where you do a charge dash at them. I'm just like merely swiping my blade and cutting them into pieces.
Grenade!
It just feels so good to just like take out your knife, go like this, and have like no resistance as the blade perfectly slices through them like a fucking lightsaber or something. Yeah, this is definitely, when you fight the little flood spore infectors, That is definitely where I want my assault rifle back. Because that thing just spreads bullets everywhere. And you don't have to worry about, well... I think both my elites are dead now. My buddies, my pals, my friends, they're both pushing up daisies, eating dirt worms or something. Whatever the euphemism is for it. Oh no, one of my guys is still alive. Never mind. I lied. We are getting towards the bottom though, I think. Alright, still got a couple more. Bob. Be in a borehole. I'm going around in circles. Your one's up here. Another bad foot placement thingy. I don't know how you want to put it. Not great.
Agony!
You're gone. You're gone. Oh, right, my lead was dead there. He is not. He's still okay. Shields are back too. Hooray! Should be reaching the bottom of this pillar now. Damn.